Okay, good morning, friends. Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Habayim. I could not resist this subject, as this is a classic Chida topic, and that is the authorship of Tanna de Eliyahu. Who wrote Tanna de Eliyahu? So, based on the Gemara in Kesuvos, on Daf Kuf Vav Amud Aleph, the Gemara says on the fourth line that Rav Anan was frequented by Eliyahu, and he would teach him Seder de Eliyahu. Now, if Rav Anan was frequented by Eliyahu, presumably that's Eliyahu HaNavi, the Malach, and he would teach him Seder de Eliyahu. And because Rav Anan did this, what did he do? He told Rav Nachman that he's disqualified from adjudicating the case, and Rav Nachman thought it was because he was related, but it's really because he accepted Shoichad. By the way, just if I could share with you, on Shabbos we suggested that, there's an idea that the 13 prakim of Kesuvos correspond to Yud Gimel Midos Harachamim, and the 13th parak corresponds to Vinake. Vinake lo Yinake. Now the Gemara says in Masech Nida on Daf Ayin that Vinake lo Yinake, Hashem accepts those who do tshuva and He doesn't forgive those who don't do tshuva. The Gemara there refers to tshuva as shoichad, bribery. We suggested that's why the sugya of bribery in Shas is in the 13th parak of Kesuvos, because it corresponds to vinake, which is accepting tshuva. Tshuva is a form of bribery. Anyway, so Eliyahu would frequent Rav Anan, and he stopped doing it. And what did Rav Anan do? He sat betainis, and he requested mercy, and Eliyahu came. When he came, he frightened him. So what did Rav Anan do? V'avad tivusa, he made a box. V'yasef kamei, and he sat before him. Ad apikle sidre, until he taught him his order. V'hainu da'amri seder de Eliyahu rabba, seder Eliyahu zuta. Okay, this is the Gemara. And the question is, who wrote Tanna de Eliyahu? We have another reference to Tanna de Eliyahu in Masechta Sanhedrin on Daf Tzadi Beis, Amud Aleph. There it says, Tanna de Eliyahu, Tzadikim she'asar HaKadosh Baruch Hu lahachayoisan einon chozrin la'afaran. The tzadikim that God is destined to bring back to life will not return to their dust. Okay? So, let's begin with the Be'er Sheva. The Be'er Sheva is one of the early Achronim. Let's see, the Be'er Sheva was written by... You know what? I'm going to try something different. Take a look at this. You see this on your screen? This is from Eitzra Chachma, okay? You see this? This is, no? Yeah. Eitzra Chachma is written by Rabbi Yisachar bar Eilenberg. Rabbi Yisachar bar Eilenberg. You know what? Let's try. I could get you a better image. Let's see. Rabbi Yisachar bar Eilenberg. Let's see if I could get you a better image. Here. Nope. Rabbi Yisachar bar Eilenberg. I don't know. Did you get the Maramakoimos? Let me see. Okay, we'll start with this, and then hopefully it will come up. Okay, who wrote Tanna de Eliyahu? So the Be'er Sheva says like this: Tanna de Eliyahu, tzadikim she'asad, al titeh lachshav. Do not mistakenly think Shezeh Eliyahu, that this Gemara in Sanhedrin on Tzadi Beis that says Eliyahu, Hu Eliyahu HaNavi HaTishbi. that it's Eliyahu HaNavi HaTishvi. But rather, Eliyahu HaTana, it's not Eliyahu HaNavi, it's the Tanna, Haroshum B'Hakdamas Zroim L'Harambam. It's the Tanna that is marked and listed in the Hakdama of Zroim of the Rambam. Eitzel Chonei HaMagil. Chonei HaMagil was an early Tanna, and another early Tanna was Eliyahu. There's a Tanna, Eliyahu. He's in the Rambam's Hakdama to the Mishnayos. Uveperek mi shahaya timtza Tanna d'Eliyahu. Reb Nasan Omer Kol HaYishuv Tachas Koichav Echad. So the Be'er Sheva says that Tanna d'Eliyahu is not Eliyahu HaNavi, but rather it is a Tanna named Eliyahu. Fine. That's the opinion of the Be'er Sheva. This is besides an interesting topic, somewhat of a Shas topic, because it occurs somewhat, it's not infrequent that we have Tanna d'Eliyahu, and the Be'er Sheva says it's the Tanna Eliyahu. Okay, so let's get this up. You see this? Comes a Chida in the Shema Gdoilim, Mareches Sfarim, okay, letter Samach, Seder Eliyahu Rabba, V'Seder Eliyahu Zuta, Hu Tanna d'Eliyahu, Nidfas B'Venetia, it's published in Venice, V'Shuv Nidfas in Perush, Zekikin Denura U'Ba'urin De'esha. One of the classic commentaries on the Tanna d'Eliyahu is something called Zekikin Denura U'Ba'urin De'esha. Actually, I looked up this morning what exactly is Zekikin Denura U'Ba'urin De'esha. I think even we've quoted it one time. I think one time we quoted it. And the Chida says that commentary was published in Prague. And there are two parts to it. I just want to tell you what he says. He says it was published in Prague in the year 1676. It was written by Reb Shmuel Chida. It's a perush on Tanna d'Eliyahu that it was originally printed in Venice. It was full of mistakes, and this Rav, Reb Shmuel Chida, in his kedusha, in his diligence, Hashem illuminated his eyes, and it was revealed to him the true nusach, and he fixed up the old nusach, and he made a very long commentary on Tanna d'Eliyahu in 3 parts. And he made introductions. One's called Mar Keshisha, one's called Mar Yenuka. The first chelek is a perush of Seder Eliyahu Rabbah. The second chelek is a perush of Eliyahu Zuta. And the third perush is a biur of the 20th perek of Eliyahu Zuta. And that perek is very, very deep with all kinds of razin and talumais. And therefore he made it a chelek by itself. The Chida says, I only saw the first 2 chalakim in print, not the third. And the Goinim that gave haskamais to the commentaries, the Kukin, Denur B'Urin De'esha, are Reb Shimshon Bachrach, the father of the Chavos Yair, and Reb Shmuel Kadenover, the author of Berchas HaZavach. Okay, be it as it may, the Chida takes the Be'er Sheva to task. So he says like this. V'ra'isi lahara Be'er Sheva b'toisvoisav the parak chelek daf tzadi beis. I saw in the toisus of the Be'er Sheva to Sanhedrin tzadi beis shekasav al maimer Tanna d'Eliyahu demaisi hasam. There the Gemara says Tanna d'Eliyahu, and the Be'er Sheva says don't make a mistake that Eliyahu is Eliyahu HaNavi, but it's the Tanna mentioned in the Hakdama of the Rambam by Chonei HaMagil, and the Be'er Sheva repeats this in his Tshuvos close to the end of the Sefer, and the Shir Knesset Hagdoila quotes this Be'er Sheva. Says the Chida, V'zeli lemala mechamesh u'shloshim shana. It's been more than 35 years. Shetimhati al hagoyin Rabbi Be'er Sheva that I was perplexed with what the Be'er Sheva said. D'mashe hizker Rambam akdamasai. When the Rambam says in his Hakdama Eliyahu, the Be'er Sheva read the words wrong. The Rambam says, Eliyahu Eini, ben Hakaf. It's not Eliyahu, and Eini ben Hakaf. It's one guy. His name is Eliyahu Eini. V'ushem echad Eliyahu eini. V'lav Eliyahu l'chud v'eini bein hakaf l'chud. So there is no Tanna Eliyahu. The Be'er Sheva read it wrong. The Be'er Sheva thought it was Eliyahu and then eini ben hakaf. No, it's Eliyahu eini ben hakaf. Also, it's very clear that Tanna D'Eliyahu is Eliyahu Zachar Latov. What's the raya? Our Gemara says the Chida. The raya is V'hu Ma'idid Tani Eliyahu l'Ravanan Seder Eliyahu Rabba v'Seder Eliyahu Zuta Kedamrina b'Ksubas Daf Kovav. Doesn't the Gemara in Kesuvos Daf Kovav say that Eliyahu taught Ravanan, Eliyahu Rabba, and Eliyahu Zuta? Eliyahu there in our Gemara in Kesuvos is clearly Eliyahu Navi. V'nidfas Sefer Tanna D'Eliyahu b'Venitzia Shnas Yismach. It was published originally in the year Yismach. The year Yismach is 358, which is 1598. The first publishing of Tanna D'Eliyahu was in the year 1598. V'achar kach nidfas b'pirish rachav hanikra zukukin denura bi'er Prague. V'zeh ha-sefer hu Tanna D'Eliyahu. And this is the sefer, Tanna D'Eliyahu. You know how Tanna D'Eliyahu begins? Anybody know? What are the first words of Tanna D'Eliyahu? Vayigaresh. And he chased. It's referring to Adam HaRishon being chased out of Gan Eden. The gematria of Vayigaresh is Tanna D'Eliyahu, like the Roikeach writes. V'oid nela mehem. Also, it was hidden from the Be'er Sheva. Masha Kasav Rabbeinu ha'aruch. What the Aruch writes. The Aruch was Rabbi Yechiel, Reb Nosson ben Rabbi Yechiel. I was just at his house in the old city in Rome. The Aruch, Erech Seder, V'zal Shina, Seder Eliyahu Rabba, Seder Eliyahu Zuta. The Sefer Aruch is a lexicographer. It's basically a dictionary. And he says, in his entry for Eliyahu Rabba and Eliyahu Zuta, Bereish Gemara, the Perek Shnei Dayanik Zelos, that's our Perek, Uda Amri Begemara, Tanna D'Eliyahu, Kulan Begavayu Ad Kan L'Shainai. V'chein hadavar mavur ki kol Tanna D'Eliyahu d'maisi hashas oy hayakod oy rubam hine hinam sham. That all the Tanna D'Eliyahus that are brought in Shas or the Yalkod, or at least most of them, are in Tanna D'Eliyahu. Uvefran hani beitrei d'alayu kai hara Be'er Sheva, especially those two Gemaras that the Rabbi Be'er Sheva is talking about. Hahi d'maisi hashas b'Sanhedrin dav talik beis hu b'soif seder Eliyahu Rabba. Meaning the Tanna D'Eliyahu quoted in the Gemara in Sanhedrin about what will happen to the tzaddikim la'asad lavai is in Seder Eliyahu Rabba, with a little bit of a discrepancy. But Tanna D'Eliyahu kol hashana halachas, which the Be'er Sheva is talking about in his Tshuvas, is in Eliyahu Zuta, and that the Aruch says it's all in Tanna D'Eliyahu, which is written by Eliyahu Hanavi. V'oid tema al Rabbi Be'er Sheva v'oitzim b'kiyusai. Why was the Be'er Sheva? Why did it suffice for him? Oh yeah, it's the Eliyahu in the Hakdama of the Rambam. Why didn't he say where this Tanna is in the Mishnah or a Brisa? Why did the Be'er Sheva just suffice to say, you know who it is? It's a Tanna the Rambam talks about in his Hakdama. Why didn't he try to find where exactly this Tanna is mentioned in Shas? Hagam haloim ro'isi b'seder hadoros. Now the truth is, I saw in Rabbi Yechiel Halperin Seder Hadoros Hanidfas Mikarov Daf Ayin Vav Madalad Shehevi Divrei Hara Be'er Sheva Nem Shachareim. The Seder Hadoros followed the opinion of the Be'er Sheva. And he brings what it says in Psachim, Daf Tzadi Dalet, Tanna D'Eliyahu, Rab Nasan Oimer, of Arvei Psachim, Tanna D'Eliyahu, Afal Pisha Amar Rabbi Kiva. V'im Kedivrei HaRambam, if, says the Chida, if the Tanna Eliyahu was the Tanna of Eliyahu in the Rambam, Ki Tanna D'Eliyahu Kadmon, that it was an early Tanna, So how could he quote Rav Nassan and Rabbi Akiva, who are later Tanoim? Meaning, the Ber Shava the Seder Adoros brings the Ber Shava, and he says, if the Rambam's correct, how could he quote later Tanoim? So the Chida asks, Utmihani aroiv b'kiyusay madua kashtay nosag achar v'shasak lara Ber Shava v'harei b'samach hizker sefer zukuk and denura v'echloi zachadu seder Eliyahu demasni l'Ravanan. First of all, why didn't he utilize the argument that it's a Seder Eliyahu that was taught to Ravanan, and that had to have been Eliyahu HaNavi and not Eliyahu Tanna? V'sumai ka'amar, and also what does the Seder Hadoros mean? V'im k'divrei harambam, atu harambam hizgir Tanna d'vei Eliyahu b'hakdamasai? Does the Rambam the one who mentioned Tanna d'vei Eliyahu? Like, why is he saying, and if the Rambam is right? The Rambam didn't chime in on this. The Rambam just mentioned a Tanna named Eliyahu. He didn't say anything about Tanna d'vei Eliyahu. Oy di braza, did the Rambam speak about this? Halayara Ber Sheva hu asher chashav k'Eliyahu hamuskar sham l'chudei kai. It's the Ber Sheva who thought that the Eliyahu in the Rambam is the author of Tanna d'vei Eliyahu. V'chein hitik hulash in a Rambam hishar acharav eni ben akoif. Upashikyu teva achas. It's obvious one word. Eliyahu eni v'shem echaru v'niska b'mishah per gimel de para. Eliyahu eni is mentioned in the third parak of para. V'hu b'nischasenu Eliyahu eni behei. Likewise, the Seder Hadoros also thought that when it says in Bereshis Rabbah, Eliyahu Eini, it's two words. But it says the Chida, it's one word. Eliyahu Eini. Also, it can't be that the Rambam, it can't be two words. Because the Rambam, B'chlal, only mentions in his Akdama Tanoim that are mentioned in the Mishnah. In the Mishnah, we don't have not Eliyahu and not Eini ben Akoif. But we do have in Para, let's see, in Masechta Para, do you remember Masechta Para, Para Gimel? Do you remember such a Tanna? Let's see. Eliyahu Einai ben Hakoif. By the way, there it says, Umi Asa'an, who made the different paradumas? Eliyahu Einai ben Hakoif, Achanam el Hamitzri, V'yishma ben Piavi, Asu Achas Achas. By the way, who's Chanam el Hamitzri? If you look on Daf Kuf Vav, actually, if you look at Daf Kuf Hey in Kesuvos, we have Chanan HaMitzri, not Chanam El. I wonder if there's any connection. Okay. In any event, therefore, the Chida says, V'chei muchim sefer Truma, Siman Kuf Lamed Hey, Kitan Dev Eliyahu, Mashalom Eliyahu Zarotov, the Rabbanan, Machon Maggid Harakiah, Oid B'zeh B'siyata D'Shmaya. The bottom line is, it's kedai to know there's a famous Machlokes who wrote the Tanna of Eliyahu. The Kadmon, the Sheva says it was a Tanna Eliyahu mentioned by the Rambam in the Hakdama, and the Chida says the Rambam doesn't mention any Eliyahu. The Rambam only mentions Tanoim who are mentioned in the Mishnah. There is no Eliyahu mentioned in the Mishnah. All you have is Eliyahu Einai, which is mentioned in Parak Gimel of Para, and therefore the Chida says, based on our Gemara, that Tanna Eliyahu was taught by Eliyahu HaNavi, as indicated by our Gemara in Kesuvos Daf Kuf Vav, that Eliyahu HaNavi taught it to Ravanan. Rabbi Isai, have a great day. Kol Tov. Be Matzliach.
I know her. I used to work with her at Woodmere Rehab Center. My question is the kashrus, because I know she's more modern than I am. What is your feeling on that?